Personal log, Desiree Shaw. Stardate 94830.5. Hi, Josh. Been a while. Yeah. So, I originally intended recording this on Pi Day, or at least uploading it on Pi Day something. Obviously, that did not happen. Sorry. Yeah, moving, renting, lots of drama details that I'm not finished yet, so I'll talk about that in a different video probably. But anyway, so I introduced my guys to Pi Day. That was really cool, pretty hilarious because they didn't believe me. It's like, oh, well, are you going to make like a T-bone steak day because I could use some lunch? And I'm like, ha, funny. But I got to introduce to them Pie Day, and I gave them either cherry or apple pies, and they loved that idea. I have a feeling Pie Day will forever be ingrained in their memories. So, yeah. Some of them knew what it was ahead of time. Some of them heard it on the radio, and others had no idea. And I wore the shirt that you got me for the Ultimate Pie Day, and that was pretty cool. They loved the shirt. So yeah, that was. I was originally going to tell you about the coolness that happened on Pi Day, and I guess I still did. It's just really late. Yeah, so safety. I'm a safety officer at work, and so I understand what you're talking about as far as lockout tagout. You always got to think of the potential risks because you're not only looking out for yourself and others, you're also trying to think of, okay, what if someone else messed up? How am I going to be affected? There's a lot of secondhand stuff going there. Don't let it make you paranoid, but know that it's out there is definitely the thing to look for. I watched a lot of lockout tagout videos to find a good one that was not overly gory but got the point across as to why to keep an eye out for lockout tagout things. It was a very sobering week when I was doing that, prepping. I found one video, well, I found a few videos, but the video I decided to go with was called Shoelaces. I'm going to put it description or link in the description. It wasn't gory, but it got the point across because my guys were very sober after that meeting. So it was a getting in touch with the reality of your job. And you definitely have to be careful of it because you're in a dangerous field. And, yeah. 3D printer. Awesome that you got your Star Trek Starship collection started. I love the Voyager ships. They're probably one of my favorites. I cheated. I don't have the Star Trek ships, but I have Serenity from Firefly. Yeah, this is actually a Yahtzee cup. We got the dice that have the markings from the show Firefly. So that's cool. And yeah, let me see if I can remember how to put this on now. But yeah, so my original collection is starting, but I kind of cheated. Not as creative as you, unfortunately. Yeah. So, awesome job on that. It looks amazing. And I'm glad that your coworkers are pretty excited about it too. That's always good to have support like that. And, okay, switching topics. I love the concept of cosplaying together and A-okay with it being Pokemon because we're both into that. And I love the elaborate costumes that it's going to do. So that'll be fun. And I don't think it should be too hard finding the wigs because it's a fairly newer Pokemon, and so I think there should be some out there. I'll look it up in my spare time. I think that's a thing still. I'm not sure. I haven't had much in a while. Well, I'm doing this now, so obviously I have some spare time. Coat of arms looks good. I think that that would look pretty cool on your wall, especially since you have a little bit of the sentimental stuff going with it now. And now, for the hard part. You asked me my favorite Pokemon. That's a really, really hard question. And I don't have a definite answer for you, unfortunately. There are several Pokemon that I like, several that I have connections with. For instance, Ponyta was a fond Pokemon for me because it was my very first Pokemon card, and it's somewhere in my packed stuff. I'm not sure where it went, but so the person who gave it to me knew I liked horses, and so they gave me Ponyta because it was the horse Pokemon. And so I fell in love with it instantly because it was a horse. Now, as far as useful and therefore why I would appreciate it, Ditto is definitely in the top rankings. I recall as a child that that was my favorite Pokemon, and it wasn't necessarily because of the gaming, because I didn't use it a whole lot in the games, but more of whenever we did the role play and stuff outside, like in Miss Emerson's garden and stuff like that, where we would be playing, and I was like, I had to have a Ditto on my team because it's like, okay, I want to cut down this bush, so Ditto transform into a Bulbasaur and use cut, and so I could get past the bush. Or if I was going from one island to the next, Ditto could transform into a Pidgeot and fly me across to this next island. So the idea of how diverse Ditto was and all the abilities it could use, definitely I respected that, and so that's why it would definitely be in my top section of Pokemon that I liked. Now, I will admit, although it's stereotypical and this kind of makes me a little sad, I like the cutesy Pokemon. I didn't realize how much I liked them until you let me borrow that shaman in order to like see how it reacted under the playing part of it. And it was like this cute little hedgehog one, and it went poof with the flowers whenever it was happy with you. And it's like, oh, it stole my heart instantly. It was so cute. So all the little cutesy Pokemon like that, they're absolutely too adorable for me to not say I didn't like them because I think they're awesome. There is a Pokemon I have a connection with, and I say that it's got a story behind it. It's mischievous. Basically, there was a group of us in college that we all liked Pokemon, and so we were trying to figure out who would represent one Pokemon. Like, one of the girls, she had extremely thick hair that was like all bushy and stuff. And so she connected with Mareep because it is the sheep Pokemon, and it has bushy hair that has electrical signals, and she identified when it was humid how static would just go through her hair. And so she identified with Mareep. And because I walk more silently and had a habit of scaring people when walking around corners or something, they decided that mischievous was appropriate for me, in addition to it having long hair. So at the time I had my long hair still. She wrote a little short mini story, so I'm going to read that to you. And it goes like this. Desiree. Growing up in Eterna City, she helped out her parents at the Pokemart and liked to play in the Eterna Forest. It was there a mischievous saw her and teasingly startled her with a screaming cry one night. Desiree investigated the noise after collecting her wits and chided the ghost. Intrigued by the fact that it wasn't scared of her, it offered her a small green shard it had found. They have been friends since. That's all quotes. And so that Pokemon, I definitely can't help but have a nostalgic sense now because they said that I was like that Pokemon. So that's also in my top. But as far as favorite, it's like it would depend on the reason. Because, for instance, there for a while during my high school, I would have said Dragonair because it is a very majestic Pokemon. And I like the feathers that it has on its head. The fact it turns into Dragonite, that derpy, huge Pokemon, I seriously think that was one of the worst decisions they could have made. It's like a reverse ugly ducking. It's like this gorgeous baby turned into this ugly adult. It's like, blah. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I've got. Sorry it took so long, and I hope you're doing well. Any cool things going? Like, I'll tell you about my moving stories next time. Hopefully I'll have one that actually is worth telling, or maybe a story worth telling. Has there been anything up where you're at that would be an interesting story to tell? Let's see. I'm not really sure what to say now. I love you, Josh. I hope you have a good one. And I like the idea of us sending questions back and forth because I think that'll give us some time to think about the answers and stuff. Oh, and quick joke. Ready for this? Okay. Where does a dog go when it's lost its tail? The retail store. Anyway, I love you. I will talk with you later. Have a good one, bub.